There's something golf players, pros in particular, do well in their golf swings as opposed to amateurs that makes them so consistent with their swing itself. And one of the main things is all to do with the way they move the left arm in their golf swing. Now, over the last couple of weeks, I've been asking you viewers to comment down below the tips or drills video topic you'd like me to cover next. So in this video, I'm going to be answering a question that came up from Tim Fowler 9695, who was asking for a video on how the left arm should work throughout your golf swing. And if this is one of your first videos of mine, you may be new to the channel. Well, I'm Harry, a golf teach professional, and I provide easy and simple to follow golf tips on YouTube to help you improve your golf swing one shot at a time. So I'd highly recommend clicking that subscribe button, turning the bell icon to all if you do find these tips and drills from this video useful for your game, as I'm going to be posting at least 2 videos a week to help you further improve your game. Now, just before I dive into how the left arm should work in the golf swing, I just need to quickly show you what the tendency we see so often with what a lot of amateur golfers do, in particular with the way this left arm moves. Now, due to the club itself, whatever club you take, the majority of the weight is always going to be in the club head compared to the grip and the shaft. The majority, 80–90%, is all in the head. Now, what amateur golfers struggle to do, in simple terms, is to control what this club head does, the movement of the club head as they make their way into the backswing, but also into the downswing, but the backswing in particular. Now, I've mentioned this in a few videos in the past, that the golf swing will always work in reaction. So whatever we do in the backswing, we're always going to do the opposite in the downswing. A good example is if we're going to take the club more on the inside like this here, we're going to swing to the top, and we're more likely to do the opposite and try and push the club on the outside because we've begun the swing swinging too far underneath. Well, this is what we see so many amateur golfers do. I'm just using my left arm in particular just to make things easier to show you, but what happens is they struggle to control the weight of this club. So as they make their way into the backswing, they allow the weight of the club to fall behind them like this here. They let go of the club almost in this position here, and you can see this disconnects my left arm from the body as I begin to rotate. This causes an open club face from this position here. Hands are well outside from the body as well. So if I was to return with the club here, I've got to do a lot of things here to try and hit that golf ball. I've got to drag my hands inwards. I've got to really release to try and square things up to hit a decent golf shot. But obviously, because we're messing about with the way we transition and release, that's going to also have a big effect on the attack angle. So although you may be able to get these back to square with the shorter swings, the strike isn't going to be anywhere as good as it should be anyway. And the tour players, what they'll do so well to start the golf swing is they'll always have this beautifully controlled movement to take the club back into this set point here. So when we have a look at the left arm and how this should work, so this is how it should work to begin the golf swing. So you can see here my left arm's naturally set, tucked into the left side of my body here. And when we take the club back in particular, we're almost ensuring that rather than getting this butt end of the club here to face towards the right-hand corner of the simulator here at the Golf Projects, I'm trying to get that butt end of the club to face directly in at the middle of the net here. So pretty much trying to get it to face towards the target when you practice this on the driving range. So when I make that movement back and forth a couple of times, for me to do that, it feels like I'm pushing the club, I'm pulling the club upwards by allowing a bit more hinge to take place on the way back. And when I say hinge, it's not this movement here where we see the GX Golf Glove logo here pointing upwards, facing upwards towards the sky, because that opens the club face. I'm just ensuring that when I'm doing this, that club face is nice and square. A really good checkpoint from this point where the club reaches parallel to the ground on the takeaway is that leading edge of the club face here is pretty much parallel with the spine angle. So I'm rehearsing this a couple of times. I'm feeling like I'm pushing my hands down a little bit to really force that club to work upwards as opposed to working round. So 2 hands just set in the club, working on that motion. I want you to almost imagine, just for the time being, that that left arm is the one that's controlling that motion on the way back. whereas the right is there just to guide that movement. So bringing this into the top of the swing then. So a really good checkpoint for this next bit is gripping down the golf club with your left hand so that your thumb is just on the top edge pretty much of the grip. And when you make that first swing, you're rehearsing that first part of the movement. And then the second part, as you begin to rotate, you can see I'm rotating, allowing my shoulder to stay a little bit lower as my right shoulder lifts up. I just like the thought of keeping my hand on my right quad just because it feels easier for me to allow this motion to take place. I'm just getting my back to start facing towards the target, but a key checkpoint, really important, is just getting this left arm to stay tucked in. And once we get to this point here, we can check that that butt end of the club now, we can see that that's facing the golf ball. If it's too far this way, we're losing the control. If it's too far that way, we're cheating. So we want to keep the control of the left arm as we make our way into this checkpoint here. And because, again, golf clubs are fairly heavy, it's going to be hard for you to just make your way up into this position just using the left arm. So it will feel lighter the further down the club you grip. So if you're finding it quite tricky just to set the club in that position there with the hand on the grip like this here, then just grip down it like so and just begin to practice that movement. That definitely feels a lot lighter as I begin to rotate into the backswing. Now working this into the downswing, the top of the backswing we don't necessarily need to worry about because it's just a continued motion from this point in the swing here. So as we bring our way back down, the key is to not let the hand, the left hand here, drag the club through to target. Now when we drag the club through to target, look what happens here. It encourages the hosel to win the race to the golf ball. And look what happens here. The disconnection takes place. So once you get to this point here, take a crease in your top and just place it underneath your left armpit. And then from there, you want to allow the club to release on the way through. So you can see here the way I'm setting my left arm, my elbow is facing towards the body as opposed to pushing towards the target. The disconnection, hosel wins the race to the golf ball doing that. So making the crease, setting it up to the top of the swing, allowing it to release on the way through. So if I just rewind that and bring it back to impact, club face is nice and square, hands are ahead of the club face as well to promote that downward attack angle with the irons. This will also work with the driver, but practicing this in stages and working this up into full swings. Once you get to this point, don't let go of this connection here. Allow that to stay connected as you make your way through to finish. And with the finish position here, can you see from this camera angle here how far away my left hand is in comparison to where the body is? We are swinging round to the left. That's how the club should work, because if we take the club and allow the hands to stay in front and let the club eventually release over like this here, that's no good. We've got to get those hands working this way. You can see there, as soon as I pause from this point here, my hands are starting to disappear behind the body, hide behind the body, as the club head is still working on its swing arc, making your way through to finish. And this is how it should look for the finish. Taking your right hand on, you should be able to feel how much more rotation there is into that finish position. Taking two hands, same feeling, working up to this point and allowing the left arm to do its thing. Right arm is on just to guide the swing and to also take a bit of the weight from the left arm. So bringing this into the actual shots itself, nice and smooth. I'd recommend starting off with 3/4 swings like that one there, and then building this up into the full swing. But I'm just going to hit a 3/4 shot here. I've got 8 iron in my hands, 140. Let's see what happens. Just made it onto the green. It was a lovely strike, but I'll take that on this little par 3. Now, just before I introduce this technique with the driver, I just would like to give a quick shout out to the sponsors of the channel, GX Golf. They provide high quality golf clubs for a fraction of the price in comparison to their competitors out in the market, and using my discount code below, Harry10, you can get yourself a great 10% discount off all their bundle packages of 3, 6 and 9 golf clubs. So I'd highly recommend you checking them out. The links will be in the description below if you're in the market for new golf gloves. So with the driver in particular, the key with driver, the bonus tip that I'm going to bring into this is when you're practicing these one-handed swings, gripping down the club, you have to make sure that this natural release is taking place, not this release of the club here where we're getting this disconnection with the lead arm from the body. We're making that crease and we're allowing this release here to happen sooner, but mainly quicker, because that's going to help you get that more upward attack angle into the ball and start producing a much better launch with the driver. So just practicing that a couple of times, just ensuring you're setting yourself in that first point of the swing, working up and swinging through like so. Then taking two hands onto the golf club, giving this a bit of a whirl, feeling that motion there on the way through, allowing it to release, and finishing off with crushing a drive down the middle. Oh, a little bit left, allowed it to release a little bit too much there, but that was me releasing a little bit from this action as opposed to allowing the left arm to stay connected to the body. And that's just because it's a little bit harder to do at faster speeds. So if you found this simple technique for the left arm useful, go ahead, give this a try and comment down below to let me know how you get on from watching this video. And if you'd like to see more videos like this specifically, now we've got the left arm working in our favor, why not the right arm? Here's two videos that I recommend you checking out here. One for the irons and one for the drive on how the right arm should work in the golf swing. And I've also been thinking about producing content to do with live golf lessons. If you'd like to see those, please do comment down below. I'm trying to see what you guys would like me to post every single week. So I look forward to hearing you all in the comment section below. Thanks for watching and we'll see you over in one of these two videos over here.